Well, so I mean, I'm usually I sometimes I'm a little negative and complain a lot about the Jazz, and then and in fairness to me, it's because I love the Jazz. I want them to do well, and I try to call things like I see them. Well, yes, I mean the Hornets are not the best team in the NBA. It was still an impressive win considering that I believe they set a franchise record for points in the first quarter, points scored in the first quarter, and up by 36 at half. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love complaining. I absolutely love it. I mean, I if there is something that does not need to be complained about but can be complained about, I'm gonna complain about it. Um, I just like complaining, I guess. I don't know. I guess my one and only complaint is the fact that they let the lead slip away, and mainly in the third quarter they got outscored by 23 points in the third quarter, and I may not be the brightest basketball mind, like my knowledge of basketball may not be the very best in the world, but if you're getting outscored by 23 points in a single quarter, I think that's bad. I That's just me. So that's the one thing I can complain about. But I mean, honestly, I'm not going to complain though. I'm going to start this off with a high note and just yes, it was the Hornets. Yes, they were coming into the game tonight. We're 10-33 for a reason. So it wasn't the greatest win. It's not like they beat the Boston Celtics or anything like that. Um, but hey, I mean, the Jazz looked dominant. Larry Markkinen with 18 points in the first quarter. Colin Sexton with 17 points and 6 assists. I think he ended the night on 13 assists. Like everything is just looking so great for the Jazz, and I'm happy to be a Jazz fan. And honestly, I think that it's only going to be up from here. I mean, I don't want to say up from here. Everything is up from here for the Jazz and Jazz fans, but man, this was I can't complain about this win. I mean, yes, they let the lead slip away, but it kind of happens to a lot of teams. You're up by almost 40, and if you're up by like 500 points, then you're probably going to take your foot off the gas a bit, and you're probably going to let the other team come back into the game. And I don't know. I think it's human nature to be like, hell, you know what? We're up by so many points. Let's just try things that we don't usually do, like you know Kelly Olynyk for no apparent reason tries this wrap around behind the back pass to I think it was Keontae George or somebody like that. Probably not the best pass in the world, and it got picked off. And then Kelly Olynyk also decided to pass it to the backboard, while not the greatest lob threat. The backboard is probably not the greatest thing to pass to because I mean, most often than not will not result in a catched pass and will not be the best lob threat. He passed it to the backboard. I mean, you're up 36. Pass it to the backboard. Why not? See if you can see if that backboard can be a lob threat. Why not? But I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say this time, aside from the fact that I just hope the Jazz can do what they're doing offensively to the better teams in the NBA. I don't know if they'll be able to because most of the better teams in the NBA are a lot better defensively than the team they faced tonight. But this is the team that came down that came back from like 30 down or down by something like that. It's some insane, seemingly unsurmountable deficit against Timberwolves. Came back and won by two. So and the Jazz did not let them do it. And it could be that the Timberwolves were thinking, hey, we're the number one seed, we're up by 30, and there's no way this team is going to come back tonight, and we'll not play as hard and try to get some re- recovery time in. I guess I don't know. That's So maybe that's what it was with the Timberwolves, but the Timberwolves let this very same team that the Jazz faced tonight, come back and win by two. And the Jazz did not allow them to do that. I'm not really concerned so much about that lead getting, you know, just chipped away at. And they were only up by like 13 at one point going into the fourth quarter. The fact is that the Jazz buckled down and increased their lead and won the game tonight. And that's what I'm looking at personally, is that, man, I'm happy with it. You didn't let this lead slip away, and you didn't lose it and lose the game tonight and be I think the first team to ever lose a game being up by 36 points. When you're up that much, you rarely, I don't think there is a single team that has come back from a deficit of that amount in the NBA. I could be wrong. I'd have to Google it, to be honest with you. But I don't think there's a single team, if memory serves me right, which usually it doesn't. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm a little ashamed, but um, I don't think there's a single team that came back from that large of a deficit in the entire NBA. So chances are good you're probably going to win that game if you're up by that much. But they didn't let the lead slip away. They didn't just take their foot entirely off the gas and leave it at that. And they continue to play. What I love is that Lowry Markkanen and Colin Sexton. I swear that man, Colin Sexton, what a beast of a man that is. Mm. I love watching him play. I just do. I always kind of have, just because the energy he brings. I mean, he makes me feel like I just sprinted a marathon, and makes me feel like I am so hyped up while I'm just sitting on my couch. Like when he makes an unbelievable play or makes an unbelievable shot, I get so amped up. It actually drives my wife crazy, but thankfully we've been married long enough and been together long enough where she just kind of accepts my flaws for what they are and knows that they will never change. And I appreciate her for that, because my flaws are flaws for a reason. They will probably never change. Hopefully they will, but I doubt it. Um, but he just makes me feel so amped up while I'm just sitting on my couch. I don't know how he does it. I mean, if I could have like 1% of the energy that he has every single day, seemingly all day, every single day, I would be so much more successful. I think we all would be. I mean, that man just plays with so much energy, enthusiasm, and love that I'm not ashamed to say that I rarely have throughout the day. So, oh, it's okay. I mean, some people are just built like that, and he is. So, but that's what makes him so fun to watch, you know? So, anyways, I mean, honestly, the Jazz, I hope they can do this to the better teams in the league. Hopefully they can, and hopefully they will. Um, I really, really feel like the Jazz can be not just in the play-in, but the playoffs if they keep playing the way they have been over the past, what is it now, 23 games. I mean, yes, sure, they dropped a few. They dropped a couple they probably shouldn't have. Um, I mean, against the Pelicans, losing by like 40, not the best in the world, but you probably shouldn't have lost by 40. But losing to the Pelicans, that's a respectable loss. You can respect that. Losing to the Rockets and being down by whatever it was, like 20 to the Rockets, I don't know if that's as forgivable, but you still had a chance to win that game on a Jordan Clarkson floater, and he makes those 9 times out of 10. And if you're telling me we have a 90% chance to win a game by Jordan Clarkson and we lose that game, uh, I'll take it. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, I just hope that I truly believe that if this team can continue to do what it has been doing, especially when they went 15-4 over their last 19 games, and now they're two game win streak. Yes, not against the greatest competition in the world, but they're still NBA teams. If they can do this against the better teams in the NBA, and when I say the better teams, I mean the Boston Celtics of the world, the Sixers, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, um, the Bucks. If they can do that against those teams, I really truly feel, and if they can just win half of the games against those teams, I feel like this team will be a top 6 team in the West this year. Now, the Jazz are in a rebuild, and I don't think it's fair to put that amount of pressure on them to say, oh, hey, you got to be top 6 in the West this year, because they are in a rebuild. And I want to touch on this in another video. The trade deadline could change everything. They could be trading a lot of people, a lot of players that are really contributing to the wins on this team. But assuming they don't do that, and they either stand pat or trade Taylor Horton Tucker and get a great rotational piece. Obviously, Taylor Horton Tucker has just been getting nonstop DNPs over the past 23 games. Then they could be even better than they are now and have an even better chance of making it into the playoffs, not just to play in playoffs. So I'm on it as a Jazz fan. I'm excited to see where this team goes, and I hope you all are too. So I'm all in. Because this team is rebuilding, I think we need to think more long term and into the future. I hate when people say, "Oh, we need to build for 2029." I'm not that patient to wait until 2029. I would really like a competitive team now, but if it means a championship, I'm on board. As much as that would really suck. That would really suck if this team sucks until 2029. But hopefully they can be competitive. Hopefully they can give us some fun playoff action this year, and we can all enjoy it as a fan base together. So, anyways, that's going to do it for this one. If you like the content, found it useful or entertaining, or got anything out of it whatsoever, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Really helps me out. If you didn't like it, please let me know what you didn't like, how it can be improved. I love constructive criticism. I welcome it, and I appreciate constructive criticism. And no matter what happens, win, lose, draw, good, bad, or ugly, and thankfully it was really good tonight. I'm very, very happy with it, and I hope everyone else is too. As a Jazz fan, let's go Jazz Nation. We'll react to it here on React to NBA. Thanks for watching.